It's a great company. Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
Which one did you buy?
Wait, Mr. President.
Which one did you
Mr.
buy?
President, which car are you going to buy?
The one I like is that one. Wow, this is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Man who runs our country just said a Tesla. Said everything's computer. Goes to Joe Biden after endlessly bragging and lying about how well the stock market did during his first term as president. All of a sudden, stock market doesn't really matter because we're in a period of transition.
We are in a period of transition from the mess that was created under Joe Biden in the previous administration. Joe Biden left this country in an economic disaster.
Wait, there was a disaster and we didn't know about? Did you know about it, Gary?
No, I didn't know.
The MAGA...
Donald Trump crashing the economy on purpose. That's the new spin some of his most loyal supporters are trying to sell. And honestly, it's wild. They're out here claiming he's tanking the economy as part of some genius master plan. Like burning down your own house just to prove the fire department's slow. Even Jimmy Kimmel couldn't help but laugh at how far they're bending over backwards to make it sound smart. But let's be real, when your big move is turning financial stability into a dumpster fire, maybe it's time to admit the strategy isn't exactly brilliant. At some point, you gotta wonder, are they defending him or just auditioning for a reality show called America's Got Excuses?
The analogy that's always worked for me is a drug addict, one who perhaps is addicted to heroin. Once they are pulled off that drug, they often struggle for life and sometimes have to take methadone to help them reach a level of health.
Oh, all right, now it makes sense.
Jimmy Kimmel couldn't help but roast the die-hard Trump defenders who are desperately trying to convince us that this whole economic disaster is actually part of some genius master plan. Seriously, they're bending over backwards to make it sound like tanking the economy is just another one of Trump's brilliant moves. One of the loudest voices in this circus is none other than the always anxious Speaker of the House, Iron Mike Johnson, who somehow manages to sound both terrified and confident at the same time. It's like watching a motivational speech given by a squirrel caught in traffic. You almost have to admire the effort. Almost.
So what President Trump is doing, I think of it sort of like when you're playing billiards and you're playing pool, right? You go on the table and the balls are racked, right? And you hit it as hard as you can. This is many people's strategy in the game. You hit it as hard as you can to break up the balls on the table and send them spread. Then you play the strategy of sinking them in the holes, right? That's what we're doing right now. It is a shakeup. I believe that you know, sometimes when you shake up, that it's a violent thing on the table, right? In the game metaphor, but it always works out well in the end.
No, it doesn't always work out in the end. Sometimes in the end, you hit so hard you have no balls at all.
Especially because, let's be real, there's no way Mike Johnson is tall enough to shoot pool. He's more likely to be the guy handing you the cue and wishing you luck. And of course, no parade of political parasites would be complete without a little historical insight from none other than first daughter-in-law Lara Trump. Because who better to weigh in on economic strategy than someone whose main qualifications include marrying into chaos and occasionally showing up on Fox News to look concerned. It's like getting financial advice from your cousin who just discovered crypto, confident, loud, and completely out of their depth.
When history looks back on this time in America, I do believe that it will be Donald Trump and Elon Musk who were reflected as two of the saviors of this country and really of the entire world.
And that's how delusional you have to be to marry Eric Trump.
I mean, really, credit where it's due. Lara Trump is a pretty loyal daughter-in-law. She genuinely believes Elon Musk and Donald Trump are out here plotting to save the world, which is sweet, considering she also believes she can sing. Meanwhile, Elon's having a rough week. Tesla sales are tanking worldwide, and yesterday the company took its biggest hit in 5 years, wiping out nearly $30 billion in stock value. At this point, Elon might just have to fire himself. It's gotten so bad that owning a Tesla right now feels like wearing a Kick Me sign. People are vandalizing the cars, charging stations, and even showrooms. Things are getting messy, and just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, Trump announced he's buying a Tesla because nothing boosts sales like the endorsement of a guy who legally can't even drive. It's like the time he single-handedly saved Party City by buying a kazoo. Heroic stuff, but hey, it makes sense. Trump's always been a huge fan of electric cars, or at least that's what he'll claim when the cameras are rolling.
We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all electric cars, even though they can't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China.
He flip-flops from 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. It's honestly impressive. What a twist. The guy who spent his whole campaign trashing electric cars is suddenly buying one. Classic Trump move. Of course, let's be real. There's no way he's actually paying for this car. Why would he? He basically just did a free commercial for Tesla without even realizing it. The man's out here giving Elon a marketing boost without dropping a dime. Talk about cutting a deal.
Tesla is a great company. Thank you all very much. I love Tesla.
Which one did you buy?
Hey, Mr. President.
Which one did you
Mr.
buy?
President, which car are you going to buy?
The one I like is that one.
He loves that Tesla. Tesla rhymes with his daughter's name, Ivanka, you know.
This guy, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't even have a place to charge it at the White House. Maybe he'll make little Marco run on a hamster wheel to power it up. Watching Donald Trump check out a Tesla was like watching a monkey with an iPad. Confused, curious, but just kind of pushing buttons and hoping it works. The man's clearly out of his element, but somehow still manages to make it all about him.
Imagine they probably don't even have a place to charge it at the White House. Maybe he'll make little Marco run on a hamster wheel. Watching Donald Trump check out a Tesla, it was like watching a monkey with an iPad.
Wow, this is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
Man who runs our country just said a Tesla said everything's computer.
And then, of course, it was time for Elon to show off his newest creation, the dumpster on wheels known as the Cybertruck. Honestly, calling it a truck is an insult to trucks. It looks like a rejected concept car from a 90s sci-fi movie that no one bothered to fix. The thing is so sharp-edged, I'm pretty sure if you touched it, you'd get a paper cut just from looking at it wrong. But hey, that's Elon for you. Always pushing boundaries, even if it's into the realm of completely bizarre.
Of selling points. Look at this.
That's a lot of ways, so I have a lot of information to put into price.
Okay, so then somebody got a close-up shot of the notes, and let's take a look at them. These are the notes. They gave him price points and financing options, $299 a month or $35,000. He's finally turned into the used car salesman we all knew he was all along.
Trump was all in on helping Elon sell these things, and let's be real, he was giving it his best shot. He had a list in his hand, like some kind of product pitch, full of selling points that were supposed to convince us that the Cybertruck was the future. And what did he say? It's bulletproof. Okay, great, because when I think of my ideal vehicle, I definitely want it to double as an armored tank. And let's not forget, it's like nothing you've ever seen. Well, yeah, that's for sure. It's like a car and a transformer had a really bad day together. But hey, he sold it with confidence, didn't he? It's absolutely absurd that we're now being asked to dig deep and help the richest man on earth, Elon Musk, who's down to his last $324 billion, sell cars. Like, seriously, the richest man on the planet needs our help to sell a truck that looks like it was designed by a kid playing with Legos. But hey, there's more. While President Trump is out here hustling to sell Teslas, he's also got his eye on buying Greenland. Yeah, you heard me right. Greenland, a place where the citizens are like, no thanks, we're good. And yet somehow, Trump thinks it's the next big real estate deal. Meanwhile, Greenland just had their national elections today, with a huge turnout. 45 people showed up to vote. Gotta love those small town vibes. It really makes you nostalgic for the days when the biggest worry was whether Joe Biden could make it up the stairs of Air Force One without a tumble. Simpler times. But hey, we got some good news today. Egg prices are down. You can now buy a dozen eggs for just $5.51. Which, I know, sounds great until you realize that eggs are now priced like some luxury item. But hey, at least the price of eggs is making headlines. What a weird time we live in.
What we told people was that they were the expensive strawberries.
So you've heard about these new viral strawberries?
I have.
From Air One.
Yes. The very expensive single strawberry.
We have a bunch. We'd love you to try one and tell us what you think.
Okay. Ooh. It's cold. That's a really good strawberry. That's a really good strawberry.
Is that a tattoo of a strawberry?
It is. It is a tattoo of a strawberry. I got a strawberry there and I got these here.
What do you think?
That is really good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
How is it different than a regular strawberry?
I feel like it's a lot sweeter than normal. And there's like No bad spots. I feel like berries often you have to like kind of pick around.
I guess you could say it doesn't taste GMO, or like you don't taste any like food coloring or anything.
Do you normally taste food coloring in strawberries?
You usually don't taste as natural.
Is it the best strawberry you've ever had? Can you describe the flavor?
Full, juicy, sour in a sweet way.
It's extremely fleshy, sweet, juicy. It has a lingering taste to it, so it remains on your palate.
Are you a food professional?
I'm a chef, yes.
You're a chef. Oh, okay. Is it the best strawberry you've ever had?
Yeah, honestly.
Best, sweetest strawberry I've ever had.
We actually got some strawberries from the supermarket too. Do you want to have one and compare them?
Sure, let's go. There really is no punch. The water, it's like water, so it's gone. Whereas the other faux berry is pretty complete throughout the mastication process, so you kind of get that whole flavor profile through the entire bite.
It's pretty great.
We have some regular run-of-the-mill supermarket strawberries.
All right.
Do you want to try and compare the two?
I wish I'd saved a bite of the good one, but yeah, let me... Okay.
Can you tell a difference?
Without a doubt, I can tell a difference. This is a 50-cent strawberry, and this is a $19 strawberry. It won me over.
What if I told you both strawberries were from the same place?
What do you mean? Because I sound a little silly right now.
They were both regular strawberries from the supermarket.
Oh,
Brought to you by Regular Supermarket Strawberries.
I'm not sure I could even tell the difference between this designer strawberry and a regular one. In fact, I bet most people can't either. So to test this theory, we hit the streets with a carton of good old regular strawberries and asked people to take a bite and guess which one was the premium variety. Spoiler alert, the results were, let's just say, eye-opening.